Okay, so I am by no means a furry of any kind. However, I have found a new calling to embrace the life of enjoying hot anthropomorphic animals. Shit. STARFOX. Oh my god, was this series really something. Really niche. Like, extremely niche. Like, it's not even its fault that it's a dead franchise. And it doesn't deserve to be dead. Although the series has not been exactly consistent when it comes to quality of games. In 1993, an on-rail shooter space game came out on the Super Nintendo and Super Famicom if you were in Japan, and it was called STARFOX. It was a revolutionary piece of art. It used this thing called the FX chip inside the Super Nintendo, and it allowed the player to embrace three-dimensional world with very limited polygons. You're pretty much just a bunch of triangles put together, shooting shit and other triangles and whatever. Yeah, and I gotta say, this game doesn't exactly hold up well in my opinion. Now, at the time, I'm sure it was completely revolutionary, but I don't know something about the way this game feels and plays just doesn't resonate with me. And, you know, it's definitely a product of its time, and I'm sure people back in the day that played it, they loved it to bits. Me, I'm gonna go to
STARFOX 64!
Oh my god, is this game fucking legendary. And there was a sequel somewhat to this game called Star Fox Adventures, but we don't talk about that. And then Star Fox Assault, and I remember liking this game at one point as a kid, but then I don't really have a lot of opinions on it, unfortunately, not owning the game. And then Star Fox Command was on the DS, and oh boy, was this game just ass. And then Star Fox Zero came out. I never played it because I don't own a Wii U, and I've never owned a Wii U. I heard it was bad, but at this point in my life, I never really cared about Star Fox, and so, yeah. But with that being said, I went to see the local game store nearby where I lived, and I found a copy of Star Fox 64 for like 20 smackaroos. And I thought to myself, well, this is a cult classic. Why the fuck is this game so cheap? I mean, is it really bad or something? There's no way. There's no way this game is bad. And I was completely floored by this masterpiece. Oh my god. And it needs to be recognized once again because every review I've seen of this game just does nothing but sucks it off. And I feel like there's something I need to confess, okay? I love sucking the big fat, big black mamba cock of Nintendo. I just can't help it. It's so juicy, it's so delectable, it's just so massive and girthy, and god damn it, is it like to bust. Now, when it comes to the N64, you know, that was a very revolutionary Now, when it comes to the N64, a revolutionary console that allowed gamers to step into the three-dimensional world of gaming, a few games came out, like, I don't know, Mario 64, Zelda Ocarina of Time, and, I don't know, fucking Banjo-Kazooie or some shit, but then a very simple, yet very clean game, STARFOX 64. And I gotta say, this is in fact my top 3 favorite N64 games of all time, right next to Ocarina of Time / Majora's Mask. I'm putting those two in the same category because I cannot pick. It just depends on my mood. And then you got fucking Pokemon Stadium. Oh my god, the Pokemon Stadium 1 and 2 specifically. And then you got STARFOX 64. Oh my god. Oh my god, it's fucking beautiful. Anyways, so without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's go off into space, into the distant void, and shoot a big fucking monkey head. What? Okay, now as far as gameplay goes, it's relatively simple. You just fly around in one single area and you shoot enemies and avoid projectiles coming at you, doing barrel rolls and shit. Now, it's a great experience, and it's genuinely fun, like an amazing immersive experience too, along with the music playing in the background, and god damn does it feel like a true adventure. This game is segmented in like a map of some sort, with 7 levels in total you'll be running through in your playthrough. What the fuck? Yeah, so there's multiple different paths and multiple different playthroughs you can go. It increases the replayability factor due to the multiple different endings you get in this game depending on the things you do in the levels. So depending on how you play the level, you get to a different level and it just kind of veers off the other path. So you get to these other levels by usually completing a specific objective within that level, but you're not really told, more so it's just kind of a discovery you make on your own. Or you just look at the fucking guide online and figure it out that way. I wouldn't know anything about that, though. Do these objectives and take secret paths, helping a friend in need, flying around to 7 different arches, or killing certain amount of enemies, and hitting enough switches, and bypassing a boss fight, etc., etc., etc. And at the end of each level, there's a boss fight. and it feels like a pretty climactic boss fight, you know? But depending on how good you are at this game and understand the fundamentals of how these boss fights operate, you can blow them away pretty fucking easily. I mean, like, an entire run of this game can take you like 30 minutes to an hour to complete. I'm not even fucking joking. It's a very short game, and it's a nice pickup kind of game. You know, you just pick it up, play it, invest about an hour of your life into it, then move on for the rest of your day. It's a really good experience. Like, it feels very arcadey. Yeah, that's what we're describing. It's very arcade style. But playing this game this way kind of gives it a bit of a disservice with the levels of intricacies there are in the overall story, as well as the decisions that you make in the game that do impact the story in different ways, such as meeting different characters and levels and having them help you out in later levels as well, such as Bill and Katt. Very minor characters, but their inclusion in here feels really welcome and feels awesome. You know, it feels awesome to like help this character out, and then all of a sudden you're going through some hard shit, and all of a sudden Big Dick Bill comes in, or Sexy Lady Katt comes in and starts helping you and threatens to kiss you on the lips. Well, please, mommy, don't do. I would hate that. And then, not to mention the allies in this game you have, like Slippy, Peppy, and Falco. They assist you along your journey and help save the galaxy, and can even go out of commission if they take too much damage. And pretty much how it works is, if either of your allies die or lose all their health, they're out of commission for the next level. Then after that next level, they come back and they're in full force. It does also help you develop skill in protecting your allies because, trust me, they're going to be a great asset, especially in some levels, specifically Venom. Now, this game is split into two different styles, the on-rail shooting segments, and we are just duck, dip, diving, and dodging around enemies and shooting shit, whatever's in your way. And then there's the other half of the game where you're in this thing called all-range mode. You're just flying around in like a sandbox area, shooting your targets, circling around your enemies, and honestly, for N64 controls and very dated technology, it feels pretty fucking smooth, actually. Like, holy shit. Like, it feels really good, and I haven't had any issues, like technical issues I have with the overall game. Like, honestly, like, the game itself feels fantastic. Like, the controls feel, you know, the controls make sense, everything just feels fluid, it feels right, and it is a very rewarding experience once you develop these skills and just be able to breeze through these levels with ease. Like, honestly, like, it makes you feel like you are Fox McCloud just soloing the entire fucking evil galaxy fleet. It's fucking awesome. The story is primarily told through gameplay, as you are progressing through these levels and hearing dialogue from the characters, talking and progressing the plot, sort of like how Metal Gear is with its codec calls, but in a much more intuitive way. There's not many cutscenes in this game that really show off the characters physically, rather just the beginning and ending. So since this is a very action-packed story, it's more so told along through these calls, which I find a very unique way of storytelling. Like, I think it's really awesome, and it hits my Metal Gear Solid dopamine G-spot. Now, to better structure the way I talk about these levels, I'm going to talk about them individually as they are laid out on the map, and to also explain that what makes a big chunk of what makes this game amazing are the fucking levels. Now, you start off in Corneria, which is a pretty good basic level that teaches you everything you need to know about the game. In itself is an iconic level with great music, and it also helps you get to know these characters and understand their personalities, such as with Slippy getting caught in trouble all the time and you're always helping him, which is something you're going to do quite often. And Peppy is a relatively wise and, you know, he's sort of like your navigator, telling you how to play the game and teaching you different tips and tricks. And Falco, well, he's an asshole, but he's pretty much your brother in arms. And he's a sort of a pseudo-rival to you, and his personality kind of changes depending on which route you take, which I thought was a really neat touch, because if you go on the easy route, he's more of an asshole to you, but if you go on the harder levels, he actually has a bit more respect for you, you know, since you're not being a bubble-blowing bitch about everything. Medio is pretty much just flying around through space, shooting asteroids, blowing shit up in space, in typical StarFox fashion. I gotta say, this is a very mild level, and the presentation is fine for what it is. This level teaches you how to incorporate the boost mechanics and slow down mechanic as well, shoot up some space worms, and finally make it to the boss, who's just a big monkey talking shit. And this boss fight is kind of honestly. I wonder what his weak points are. Honestly, it's one of my lesser favorite levels. Not much happens here. Sector Y is where things get a little goofy. You're flying through space, and you're essentially on a battlefield around big ships. Sort of like Star Wars, you know how like the fucking like Empire fleet is just around and shit? So, the enemy summons fucking Gundams, okay? You're shooting at Gundams, by the way. You gotta blow them up and avoid crashing into the Lylat ships and debris. Oh yeah, also the Lylat is like what STARFOX is like trying to like protect and everything. That's also like what it's about and everything. It's the lore anyways. This is honestly a much better second level and a lot more crazy shit is happening and it's just more fun. Once you reach the end, you fight 2 fucking Gundams, then afterwards another bigger Gundam shows up. This boss fight is fun. Overall, this level is fantastic. More fun than Medio, in my opinion at least.
Report in.
Aqua's, Katina, and Fishen. All great third levels. I would quantify Aqua's as more of an experience you go through, so in this level you take control of a submarine that Slippy creates, and you go down into the dark abyss of the ocean in this water-based planet. Your goal is to fight this thing called a bioweapon, and as you're traveling through here, there is just nothing but pitch black darkness. You can use the torpedoes to light the way and help you navigate where the enemies are, and it's really fucking cool. Like, there's so much attention to detail, especially with the glorious soundtrack that is playing in the background for this level. The soundtrack into this game is so fucking great, with this atmosphere. It's also composed by Koji Kondo, which is also the guy that made the Ocarina of Time soundtrack and Majora's Mask soundtrack, so, you know, I understand why I love this game so fucking much. I love the N64 sound font. It's just so iconic and amazing to me. Anyways, so with this level, you're just essentially navigating a dark, treacherous ocean, filled with all kinds of crazy sea creatures that are just lurking, ready to strike the shit out of you. And it's such an awesome level. Now, there are a few complaints I have with this. It is pretty slow. There are some moments of the level where it does feel like kind of bullshit, especially in narrow areas where you have to get really lucky to not get hit by certain projectiles. But that's really my biggest gripe with the level overall. But it does have a pretty mind-numbing boss fight where you're pretty much just mashing the A button, giving yourself carpal tunnel. I'm pretty sure I had bruises on my thumb after this. I mean, literally, you're just mashing it, trying to shoot one fucking thing in it. Overall, though, the level, great atmosphere, fantastic composition. On to Katina. So this is a pretty interesting level to say the least. You meet up with this bunny rabbit named Bill, who is essentially another pilot just like you, and he needs your assistance to take on these alien invaders that are attacking the pyramid. And I guess I don't know, but you're surrounded by a bunch of these alien ships and you're pretty much supposed to shoot them down. And pretty much just shoot. That's all you do in this. But you gotta be careful not to shoot your allies that you're helping. Yeah, okay, so this is something that I was kind of confused by. As you're shooting the enemies, there are other allies around shooting the enemies with you, but if you can accidentally kill them and then Bill chews you out for killing them. Okay, but my problem with this is the fact that the alien spaceships look kind of similar to the regular, our guys' spaceships. So it's kind of hard to not fucking shoot my spaceships and not shoot the alien spaceships. Anyways, so this whole fucking like level is pretty cool. It reminds me a lot of like Independence Day with like the fucking like the big ass UFO shooting the fucking like White House and everything. Going in, just replace the pyramid with the fucking White House and there you go. I really do like this level. It's cool. Okay, so quick editing note. I didn't realize that the level I'm about to talk about is actually called Fortuna. It's actually called Mission Number 3, Fortuna Defense. However, the planet it is on is called Fishen, but the level is actually called Fortuna. So for any like confusion, if you're looking at the footage and it says Fortuna and I'm saying Fishina, I'm calling it by the name of the planet. It's called Fishina, not the level that it's called is Fortuna. So technically I am right, but also wrong at the same time. I just wanted to clear up any confusion. If you're looking at the footage and thinking that it is Fishina, but it's actually called Fortuna. Just want to just make that clear. If you're not familiar with the StarFox franchise, you might be a little bit confused. But anyways. Now, on to Fishina. Fishina is honestly my favorite third level in this game because of a certain group of individuals called Starwolf. Now, Fishina is a base. It is in need of protection due to other forces that are trying to attack it. However, you are intercepting all of these enemies and taking care of business, you know, as StarFox does. But then all of a sudden, Starwolf shows up and says one of the most iconic and greatest quotes I've ever heard in my life.
Just let you do that, StarFox.
Andros has ordered us to take you down.
Happy. Long time no see. Andros' enemy is my enemy. Just what I need to see. Star Wars.
This level is essentially a tutorial in showing you how to battle other pilots, the all-range mode essentially. Starwolf is not just a bunch of little enemies you shoot, they're actual pilots that actually fly around and maneuver around you, and you have to avoid them because they're able to chase you down and fucking blow you up. These pilots include Wolf O'Donnell, Leon, Pigma, and Andrew, with their own little backstories and cute little personalities. These characters are fun, and I really like their personality types. Also, not to mention, their voices are just iconic as hell and goofy as fuck. Especially Wolf's voice. I'm actually really disappointed in how his voice changed in the series moving forward, giving him like a deeper voice rather than keeping his posh, evil British voice. I don't know, there's just so much charm to it. So, as you're shooting enemies, Starwolf appears and they try attacking you now. You're pretty much left with two options: take down Starwolf and prevent the bomb from going off in the facility, or you can just shoot them and let the bomb go off, and depending on your actions, it changes the direction of which level you're going to go to next. Overall, this is a really good level, and it's really fun to just listen to Starwolf bicker at you.
What the heck? I can't move! All aircraft report.
Hey, we made it!
Fox, take it easy. That was a close call, Fox.
Then we have Zonas, Solar, and Sector X. Two of them I really like, and one that I'm not super fond of. Zonas, it takes place in like a really weird acidic world where I don't really know, it's kind of gross looking. I don't really understand what this world is. It's just like an acid-based world or like a garbage facade. I don't fucking know. Regardless, you meet a character named Katt, who is another pilot, and every furry's wet dream. You pretty much have to avoid the spotlights or else they spot you, and they will send missiles and shit coming at you left and right, up and down in your asshole. You pretty much have to fly around the base just to get to the boss fight. Now, you're pretty much just like fighting a big-ass crane with engines and shit on it that shoot out canisters, explosive barrels, and the shit's pretty wild. And then you gotta shoot the crane before it comes up and picks up the explosive barrel port, and after that, the thing is dead. I don't really know. It's kind of weird, and like the boss fight, it's a little intuitive, but I'm not really a big fan of it. Then you have Solar, which is essentially Mustafar on Star Wars. It's a lava-based planet where your ship is essentially gradually being damaged over time due to how fucking hot this place is. And not only is your ship being damaged, but also your ally ships are being damaged over time as well. Now, the way you get around this is shooting the lava rocks that pop out of the lava, and you just gain health from them. Okay, yeah, so I'm gonna have to micromanage this shit as well. Fun. However, with that being said, there is quite a bit of obstacles that are pretty tricky. Once you figure out how to get past them without taking extra damage, it's not that bad, really. But the real kicker of this level is the boss fight. It's another bioweapon. A big lava dude with big ol' arms that shoots lava at you. You just gotta shoot the arms enough until they blow the fuck up. Then you gotta shoot his head enough, and then he dies. That's pretty cool. Pretty cool dynamic boss fight. I think it's pretty fire. The music's great, and the atmosphere is hot as fuck. It's fire. Sector X is another space battle where you're essentially flying around a bunch of debris and flying around other ships, shooting shit over and over again. Honestly, it's one of my more favorite space-themed levels in this game, strictly due to how cool the boss fight is. Big old robot with massive arms, and you gotta shoot its eyes over and over again. But then what happens is that Slippy comes in thinking he's got a big old cock. But then Slippy gets immediately humbled by the robot.
Not in my house.
Launching him off to a different planet entirely, causing the STARFOX to have to go all the way down there to rescue him. Well, shit. Okay, that's fun. Titania and Macbeth are the 5th levels of this game, and they're pretty cool. Picking up where you left off in Sector X, you fly over to Titania in a barren desert wasteland where you take control of the Landmaster, which is a pretty fucking cool tank version of the R-Wing. You know, you're just driving through the desert, shooting a bunch of shit, avoiding obstacles, and the Landmaster controls are actually pretty fun. Once you make it through the end, there's like a weird tentacle monster holding Slippy's ship hostage, and you gotta shoot the tentacles to kill him, and then free Slippy! It's a good level, great atmosphere, and the music complements it very well. Not as good as Aqua's, but slightly better than Solar when it comes to aesthetics. Okay, so Macbeth is another Landmaster-centered level. It's probably my favorite level of the game. Like, genuinely a great experience. There's a lot of shit going on in this level, and it's pretty hectic, but that's what makes it so much more fun. Also, there's just a lot more exciting shit going around. You're duck dip, diving, dodging, all kinds of enemies and blowing more shit up over and over again. There's a big ass train headed to a base and it's gonna blow the fuck up or some shit, so you have to shoot the train over and over again. But then all of a sudden a big boss comes up and you know you have to use your N64 pro gamer skills to be very precise in shooting this fucking thing. Or you have another option, is just completely bypass the boss and shoot these 8 switches, and then what that does is it sends the fucking train off course and it blows the hell up too. This level is just fantastic with just like the atmosphere, the design, and the options you have on it. It's just so fun. Like, genuinely, it is probably my favorite level of the game.
All aircraft report.
I can see the look on their stupid faces.
Repairs complete on heavy ship. Now it's our turn to kick some tail.
Alrighty, now we are at the final 6 levels. Area 6 and Bowls. I don't know how you fucking say this name. Anyways, so Bowls is essentially a level based on all range mode style, where you're just flying around this space station, trying to take a space station, whatever. So you're flying around this space station, taking out the satellites that is preventing you from reaching the last level. But as you're attacking the enemies, they are trying to destroy you, and the Star Wolf shows up once again, and in this run would be considered the last you see of him, in comparison to the other runs. Now, Star Wolf is a pretty easy pickings in this level, actually. Like, it's really fucking easy, it's not hard. This is actually one of the easier final levels in this game, and it's not hard, really. You have 2 options on how you can end this level. You can blow up the satellite and avoid Star Wolf as they're shooting at you, or you could just kill Star Wolf and then end the level. Yeah, pretty easy. Pretty cool little 6th level, not too bad. But we're gonna talk about the next one, which is fun. Area 6. Okay, so I love this level for what it has to offer. It is a very hectic level, but there's a lot of shit that really tests your skills, and it's really fun for a few things. that also really pissed me the fuck off. Especially the stupid little moths that appear randomly, and you have to keep shooting the fuck out of them or blow their ass up. Or they fucking drain your HP when they shoot these stupid little balls at you. Also, the boss fight is just really annoying because of how tedious it is. So you have to shoot these stupid red orbs that actually do damage to it. And like, if you're not equipped with the right amount of upgrades that you have gradually gotten throughout the levels, you're gonna be sitting here for a while shooting this fucking thing. It's a very, very tedious boss fight that even if you're trying to speed through it, it just slows the pace of the game down. And it's not even a hard boss, it's just so tedious and time consuming. It's definitely my least favorite boss of the game, right next to the bioweapon and Aquas. Like, the level is fine, it's just the boss fight just boring as shit. Alright, now we're on to the final levels of the game. Venom 1 and Venom 2. Okay, now depending on how you play the game, it's going to take you either to Venom 1 or Venom 2. Now, Venom 1 is a relatively easy final level. It's actually pretty fun, and you're pretty much flying around this monkey-centered planet. You're dodging all kind of crazy statues, that you're avoiding all kinds of crazy shit going on at you. A lot of architecture is like crumbling around you. You're going on to this monkey imagery. You know, this is like where Andross is from, or this is like Andross's home planet. And this is pretty much a shrine to Andross, like, itself. And then you also have a really big-ass fucking stone monkey statue that you have to shoot all over him. And then, you know, once you finally kill him and you're duck dip diving and dodging around the fucking weird-ass obstacles, then you move on to the actual Andross boss fight, which is really easy. You just gotta shoot him in the eye a couple times and shoot his hands, and then once his hands blow up, he starts to suck you in, then drop a fucking atomic nuke in his mouth, and then he's like, oh, that's too spicy, oh, and then, you know, he just dies. That's pretty much it. But playing it that way, you get the bad ending of the game, where Andross is not actually dead. In fact, he's actually a robot version of him. But if you play Venom 2 and suffer like I did, you get the true ending. Now, let me tell you something about Venom 2. Oh my god. So then, Venom 2 is, like, really fucking hard. Like, extremely hard. Like, where it's just annoying as shit. Let me explain something to you, okay? In this level, this is another dogfighting segment. You're essentially fighting Starwolf at their maximum peak. And the cool thing is about this level is that they've learned from their mistakes, from the previous encounters that you've had with them, and they've upgraded their ships. Upgraded, which pretty much means they don't take a lot of damage when it comes to homing lasers and the bombs you can drop on them. So really, your only means of attacking them is having a highly upgraded laser and shooting them casually. However, they are aggressive as shit. So, essentially, these new and improved Starwolf are aggressive as fuck and have immense defense now. Now, not to mention they are faster now and they will tear you apart. Now, I gotta tell you, I've had multiple game overs, multiple runs destroyed because of this fight. And oh my fucking god. However, there are a few things that I didn't notice that you can really, change the tide of the battle. You can actually chase them, such as holding the turn button and slowing down and going in circles, and just mashing the shoot button whenever you have pretty good upgraded lasers, and that's really your best chance at beating these guys. On your first attempt at the level, when you have all the upgraded lasers, that's the best way to do it because you have the upgraded lasers. Because if you die, you lose the upgrades on the lasers. So realistically, you have to do this in one go if you really want to win. Which is really a damn shame because on my other attempts, I could not beat him afterwards because my single laser yellow shit was worthless compared to them. Yeah, so I know that there are other methods on how you could just chase them and chasing your ally and constantly doing barrel rolls and mashing the fucking trigger button, but doing all those kinds of dumb shit now, I can't. I like my method better. Now, I do like this level because this is a true dogfighting experience, and it really does feel like a good final level. It's very intense. And now my biggest problem with this level, though, is the fact that they don't really give you any option to upgrade your lasers on this level, so you're kind of just left to fend for yourself. And just, I don't think they really understood that, like, okay, I don't know if they really expected anybody to just be able to kill these guys with the regular low-level lasers. Anyways, I don't know. I don't plan on doing this level anytime soon because, frankly, I don't think I'm gonna ever be able to beat it again because of how fucking lucky I got. Like, literally, I genuinely think that this is a luck-based level because it is that hard. Like, I did this level at least 40 to 50 times before I could actually beat these guys. Anyway, so now we move on to the true Andross fight, which is essentially the same fight as the previous version of Andross we fought. However, once you beat him, a true form is revealed. A big brain with eyeballs. What the fuck is going on in this game? Yeah, it's pretty wild. So his eyeballs are connected to his brain via electrical signals or whatever the fuck it is. And they just like fly around and they like try to chase you and you have to like sort of maneuver around them and shoot the eyeballs. And then once you shoot the eyeballs enough and blow them the fuck up, then you gotta like try to find the brain stem or some part of his brain. It's like the bottom part of it. You have to shoot over and over again. But then the brainstem tentacles, if you get too close, the brainstem tentacles come off, and then they do some gross hentai shit. It just chews your health up and then spits you out. Eating it like a goddamn Big Mac. So you pretty much gotta make him a much smoother brain than he already is, and touch his soft spot all over. Yeah, and so then once you defeat him, Andross reveals that, you think I'm done? No, you're going down with me. I'm gonna blow up this entire fleet with me and you. And Fox is like, oh shit, okay, well I'm gonna have to get the fuck out of here. Yeah, so the place is about to blow up, but thanks to Fox's dad, wait, what the fuck? Hold on, I thought you were dead, what the hell? Yeah, so apparently Fox's dad, or some kind of ghost of him, or like a kind of apparition of Fox's dad, James McCloud, he just kind of like shows up and says, son, follow me, I will take you to where you need to go. And then like, what the fuck? So yeah, so then you just follow Fox's dad out the goddamn facility, and then cool, you escape. But then Fox's dad disappears. Oh, well, thanks, Dad. I love you. You coming back with the Newports, though? Anyways, and then that's the ending of the game. Honestly, it's such an amazing experience with how fucking fun it is. And then you go up to the New Order of the Galaxy, and they want to hire you to be a part of it, and then they say, no, nah, we're gonna do our own thing. And then they send you an invoice. Oh, this shit's funny.